So in this video, what we'll do now is we will go into landscape mode, and landscape mode is actually pretty easy, and I'm just going to show you how to work this. And what I can do up here, right now we're in select mode, so that means we can select objects and I can click on them and it shows up here and I have my details. Well, what we'll do is we can change our modes. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go into landscape mode. And once I do that, you can see that I have my landscape here. Now I can also choose how big I want this landscape to be. Right now it's in 63 by 63, so I could do 255 by 255, and that is pretty large here. But I don't want it too big, too massive. So what I'm gonna do is that's pretty set. The standard is totally fine, and I'm just gonna hit create. And once I do that, you can see that I am now in landscape mode here. And as I hover over this, you can see that it has this purple sort of circle. And that is literally my brush here. So it's actually pretty big. So let's take a look here. And what I have right now, it's on sculpt. And we will keep it on sculpt for now. And then we can take a look and see what some of these other ones do. And then you have tool strength, so this is how strong or how soft you want the tool to work. And then you have brush size, and this brush size is actually massive. So I'm actually going to crank this down a little bit, and that looks pretty good for what I want. All right, and then you have the fall off, so it's just how sharp those edges are going to be, and 0.5 seems to be pretty good. So what I can do is I can actually go in, if I hover and I click, you can see that I can start to sculpt and make some mountainous regions here. I'm just kind of zooming out a little bit, and I can build this up a little bit and then move my scene a little bit, sort of like this. And I'm just kind of going in and sculpting an area, and feel free to zoom out as you work this. Now, you can increase the brush size if you need to, if you're working with a bigger area that you want to sort of mess with. And we can start really messing with these. But let's take a look at what some of these others do. So like smooth, it's going to go in and it's going to start flattening out some of those rough areas that we've kind of elevated in a way. So if I go back, you can see that it's flattening it kind of out a little bit. And then flatten will simply just create a flat sort of thing here. So it's creating this flat side. So that seems pretty cool here. Ramp, I don't really want a ramp, but let's try erosion and let's see what it does. And this kind of plays to like erosion that would be found in a geographical area, maybe like some volcanic area or water, just elements of the earth have sort of eroded at the ground, and you can see that that's what this is actually doing. And then hydro, this is like water erosion. So there's all these different sets that you can come in and play with and work with those. Noise is also pretty cool, and that really creates some nice holes and chunks here. So go ahead and play around with this if you want. And you also can manage your landscape, where I can go in and add pieces. Like if I need to add more landscape, I'm on add, and you can see it's adding squares here. So if your landscape isn't big enough, you can always go in and sort of add some more here. You could create a new landscape, which is not what I want to do, but feel free to go in and play around with that. Landscape mode is actually pretty simple. It's just you would go into the sculpt and then sculpt it, smooth it, flatten it, and just get the landscape that you want. So building like Outer World would be actually pretty simple here. So that's how we can use landscape mode.